Hi folks, Rick here. Welcome to my channel. Alright, well today we're going to do some general trailer maintenance. So it's off season, maintenance is starting for me. So it's a good time here to start doing maintenance on everything. And so if you're racing, doing a bunch of odds and ends stuff, you don't want to just focus on your race bike only. There's a lot of other things to support you. One of them is a trailer. So this trailer could be your toy hauler, or it could just be a small utility trailer. And so today I'm going to be kind of showing you some stuff on a small utility trailer. Just some basic things you need to do, and we'll kind of get going for there. So let me kind of show you here where I'm at, and we'll get started on it. All right, here's my little trailer that I got. It's loaded down. It's in winter time. I'm starting to get everything packed on this thing to make room in my garage. I've already checked the lights, and that's one thing you want to do is you want to plug this thing in, make sure all your lights work. If not, replace the bulbs. If something's broken on them, you might want to think about going to like, some type of LED light versus the old incandescents here, but everything's working good. Today, what I want to show you here mainly, is tires and wheels and stuff like that. So I kind of got these down here a little bit and checking the wheel bearings. So there's a couple of things here. These things here, especially these ones with these little smaller tires on them here, they spin 100 miles an hour. They don't really last all that long. But you want to check your wheel bearings. You want to sit here, give them a tug back and forth like this, side to side, as you would check a wheel bearing. They are a little bit loose. Secondly here, not sure if you're going to be able to hear this or not. Let me put my thing next to it here. So I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but you can kind of hear those bearings going around. It's a little loose. So we want to go ahead and put new bearings on this thing. So there's a couple choices when you do this. You can really just buy a new hub with bearings already in it, already grease ready to go. It's a quick in and out job, nice and easy. You don't need any tools, and saves you some work. Obviously, that's a more expensive route to go. The other way here that we're going to do today is we're going to go and get some bearings and races and actually replace those ones. But in addition here, I don't know if you can really see here too much, but this tire here, I'll get them off. The tires here are really bald as well, so it's time for new tires as well. So we're going to go ahead, pull this thing off. I got a tire changing, a Harbor Freight tire changer here for this type of stuff. It works great, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these tires off and actually just do them here myself locally. So let me go ahead and get set up here. I'll go ahead and pull this thing off. First thing we got to do here is I want to remove these tires off these rims because I got to go get new tires. And then I'm going to mark down these bearings here to make sure I know which ones they are. Then I'm going to run up the store and get new bearings and get new tires and come back. But that way I can drop the old tires off. So let me get reset up here and we'll start working on getting these tires off. Okay folks, so this is my Harbor Freight tire changer that I got. This thing has paid for itself so many times, it's not funny. So when it comes to these little trailer tires like right here, again, similar like the wheel bearings, you can buy a whole new hub with bearings in it. You can also get these whole tires and wheels. They're not too expensive there, but they're obviously more expensive than just buying the tires. So again, I'm going to go ahead and do them myself. Whatever you guys want to do, that's fine. Again, you can just take these in to a tire shop. They'll put new tires on them, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and replace them here myself and then just save a few bucks. So I'm going to get these things set up and then we'll see how this goes. All right. Okay, so I got my tire here ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and try to put one of these on. You want to use some type of tire lube here to put these things on with. Just spray a little bit on this bead. This will help get them over the bead a little bit easier. All right, let's see here. These small tires are an absolute pain. So I might have to end up doing some of this off camera here. That is success. So had to use some tire irons there. These little tires here, you know, it's like motorcycle tires. They just don't go on there easy. So with that, we're going to go ahead and air this thing up, and we should be good to go. Okay, folks. Want to go ahead and take our hub off. I already took it off and I forgot to film the darn thing, but they're all very, very, very similar. So to start with here, once you get your dust cap off, you're going to have a cotter key in there usually there. You want to go ahead and pry that out. And you got your castle nut here. This should be pretty loose, but it could be a tad bit snug, but you want to just go ahead and take that off. Get a rag down here. Take that off. You can go ahead and slide it back. You're going to have a thrust bearing. You want to keep that, and then your hub will come right off, and then there's your bearings right in there. So with that here, we're going to want to take our hub and get it on the bench and get it clean. So let's get going on that. All right, folks. So I got my hub all clean. You can see down there, right down there, barely, there's like a little lip. I'm having a hard time doing some hubs have like a cutout here to allow you to get a punch. This one doesn't, so it is really, really tight. So you got to be careful when getting these out. I'm going to be using this blind bearing puller to stick in this side, then I'm going to press it out, and I'll show you that in a minute there. But just be careful with this thing. You know, if you're going to do bearings much of all, you're better off getting a hydraulic press. I have smashed my hands too many times on this thing. If I don't have a hydraulic press, I'd probably just honestly buy a whole hub there. Man. But otherwise, you know, the other way of getting this out is normal bearing, heat and beat, right? You heat this thing up, you go in there with a punch, beat those races out, press them back in, and you're way to go. It's not that difficult. I've been doing this for years and years and years, and I've just smashed my hand for the last time. So I'm going to use a hydraulic press. So let me get set up and get ready to go on that. All right, all set up here on my hydraulic press. If you do much bearings, this is the way to go. They're not that expensive. This one's from Harbor Freight. It's a 20-ton. You don't need to get a 20-ton. I got this thing here, and maybe someday I'll start bending some metal with the thing. But you can pick these up fairly cheap. So I've got my hub here. I've got my blind bearing tool in. I've got a little bit of a socket in here for this little ram here to sit on. Now I'm just going to crank this down a little bit. Hopefully everything holds, and it'll just pop right out the bottom. There we go. It's coming right out. This is so much easier than smashing your hand. The last time I did, I smashed the webbing between my thumb and forefinger there, and it hurt so bad it didn't even hurt. You just stand there staring at it, watching the blood squirt out and deciding whether you need to go to the emergency room or what the deal is. So that socket there just hit the camera, but you can see here, here's my blind bearing tool that went through there. Here's the race. So I'll just loosen this up, it'll pop right out, and we'll get lined up and press them back in. Pretty easy. All right, folks, we're going to press our little races in. As you can see, there is a thick side on here which goes in on both sides, and then you got your little beveled end just always faces out. Whether it's the top bearing or the bottom bearing, it always faces out here. So I'm going to go ahead here and get lined up. You need something here. This is actually like a race insert tool, which works perfect for this thing, but you need that, or you need something there to sit, a socket or something that sits on the edge of this thing but goes in there. And this fits actually perfectly right in here because this presses down in this hub a little farther, so you have to have something that goes through there that fits inside the hub but also rests on the bearing. So this thing here should work good. Got my bearing lined up here. I'm going to stick this thing in like so. Line this up. I want to make sure that this race in here is perfectly flat. And we're going to just very gently get this lined up in the middle and just press this down. I'm not even using the handle. Yeah, now I need to use the handle. You just want to go easy there and wait till you feel for it to stop. There you go. It just hit bottom. That's all there is to it. We're going to flip this one on, put this one in, and get on the other hub, and then we'll go ahead here and I'll show you how to repack these bearings here. All right, so we're going to grease our wheel bearings. So these tapered bearings here, you've got the small side here, which has pretty much got the cage closed off. However, on the back side here, on the big side, you can see the cage is open, and this is where we want to go ahead and put the grease. So I want to start off here by getting some grease in our palm of our hand. Let me see if I can get some going here. All right, so we got just a big old lump of grease here. What we want to do is take this and just kind of force it down on your hand. You're just taking some grease, trapping it in that cage, and just mashing it. So just go around, take little bites at a time, and eventually here you'll see it start to come out the top, and that means it's full on that particular area here. So let me just keep going. You can see it's working its way up in there. Okay, so you can see in there now it's starting to get full. So we're just going to keep going around here till this whole thing gets done, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and put this in the hub. Okay, next here, I want to take one of our wheel bearings here. I just put some of the excess on the outside here, and you want to stick it in there, obviously the small side down. We'll stick it in the back side of this hub. That grease off me. Then we will take our seal, stick it on top. Be very careful here. And we're going to hopefully press that down in nice and flush here. There we go. So now I've got it in. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one, and then we'll go ahead and put these on. All right, we're ready to stick our hub on. You want to make sure your spindle here is all nice and good, nice and clean. Go ahead and take care of that. I'm going to take our wheel hub here with our seal in it, and I just got one bearing in now. We're just going to very gently slide this on, pushing it on to where the seal's on. Take our outside bearing, slide that in. Take our thrust washer here, go ahead and put this on, and then our castle nut. Okay. Oh, this thing's cold. I have to get a set of pliers. All right. So I went ahead and just put my tire on here loosely. This grease is so darn cold. I like to put it on and spin it a little bit. And what you want to do here is you want to just get this thing here to where it's snug, and you get just a tad bit of resistance here. That's pretty snug. You don't want to tighten it, you just try to snug it. Then I like to do is just wiggle it like this. There's no play in it. It's got just a hair bit of preload. You don't want to crank this down. Just put it on there until it stops, and just maybe a flat more, and then check your tire here back and forth to make sure it's good. Roll it. It should roll fine. And that's it. We're going to stick the cotter key in on that. If you've got a greasable hub like this, you can go ahead and fill the hub up with grease. That'll just make sure it stays greased for a long time. And just put our cap on. This will be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, get the other side, and then just another check or two, and we'll be done with the trailer. All right, last couple of things here to check. Obviously, just check the condition of your jack. Make sure your spare tire and everything's got air in it. Again, I've already checked the wiring, but check all your wiring, make sure it works. Check your hitch, make sure it's not falling apart. Everything's in good shape. Last thing you want to do here also, check your trailer ball for wear. This is a chrome one. You can see here it's got just a little bit of the chrome coming off, but you want to make sure that this thing is round and it's got no flat spot. These things wear out. This is something here you need to replace. So if you got any flat spots, any wear spots on this thing, get yourself a new ball. You don't want something coming off. Also, it's a good tip here is to go ahead and grease this before you put your trailer on. Otherwise, you're just going to wear out the ball faster, as well as wear out your hitch. So that's that. With this here, you can see my trailer's all loaded up full of crap for the winter, but this thing's ready to go. Next year, it's going to hook this thing on. It's going to be all ready. New tires, new bearings, all the lights work. Everything's going to be greased. Going to have no problems there. And so this is not going to leave me stranded on the road. And with that, take care.